you don't mind, Coach, I'll take a step back. You mentioned the name. The first name of one of the players you mentioned was Darryl?
Darryl Dora.
Darryl Dora.
Yep.
You know what? Funny thing is, I actually spoke with Darryl yesterday.
Okay.
And I said, Darryl, tell me something about Coach. If you could give one word, give me something that you give me about Coach. He said, Coach is the most loyal dude I know. He said, he's the most loyal dude I know. And then I was like, okay, well, that's all cute and fuzzy, but Darryl, give me some dirt on Coach. Tell me something, that Coach did to tick you off. He's like, well, Coach, and he said a couple of words, some beep, beep, beep. But he's like, Coach kicked me out of practice.
Yeah.
And he said that blew my mind because, most coaches in that sense would have been afraid to kick me out of class because we're in a small town population of about, 7,000 people?
I don't even know if it was that many.
Right.
We had about 700 in the school at that time. But I don't know if we had 700, but it was a small town and he was by far the best player. But he was feeling himself.
Yeah.
He was feeling himself one day, and he wasn't giving the effort that I needed him to give. And
So you remember the day?
Oh, I remember that day. and when I kicked him out and called him all types of names and said some things that I had to go pray about later. I was just very hopeful he would show back up the next day.
Wow.
But at the same time, I knew that I couldn't allow him not to give everything that he was, because one thing Darryl needed to get out of Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And he needed to be coached.
Yeah.
He needed to be held accountable. And I was the one to do it.
Wow, that's amazing. Because he said, I believe you came his senior year.
Did.
And he said he didn't really have any offers at the time.
No, at the time he had St. Mary's University in San Antonio, which is a Division II, and South Alabama started talking to him.
Yeah.
And when I saw the kid play, I'm like, wait a minute, he's 6'9", 6'10", and can really shoot, can really pass, could handle the ball. Put it this way, when I would take Danny Armlin out of the game, my 6'3" point guard, I would move Darryl to the point.
Wow.
So I would take him out of the paint, put him at the point because he was such a good facilitator and a great decision maker. He could really play.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe nobody else was recruiting him. So I called Chris Beard at the time, who's now the head coach at Texas Tech. He was the assistant, who I've been friends with since I was at Incarnate Word. And I said, hey man, I got a kid out here y'all might want to look at. And he said his name right away. He said, oh, Darryl Dora. I said, yeah. I said, we don't really like him. I said, tell me what you don't like, just so I have an idea. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. He said, well, when we see him, he just sits underneath the paint on both ends. I said, no, y'all need to come check this kid out. He can really play. So they came in, saw him, and they offered him on the spot. And then the rest was history as far as that kid goes.
Wow.